I just feel like it looks so natural. Like I feel like this looks like I have eyebrows. Hi guys, I hope you're all having a wonderful day and welcome back to my channel. In case you guys didn't know and haven't seen my most recent video, I've been struggling a little bit with Trichotillomania recently where I pull out my eyebrows and my eyelashes and my brows are looking very sparse. But I figured this would be a great opportunity to film a new brow tutorial for you guys using the Milani. This is their Weekend Brow Eyebrow Tint. I recently purchased this after my friend Safai, who has, first of all, she's an amazing creator. She also has a YouTube channel, so I'll link that down below. But I saw her Instagram post. I believe she did like a sponsored post with Milani, and I just love the way she filled in her brows. I feel like it looked so natural and so good. So I immediately went out and purchased these. I was very surprised that they were only like $7. Pretty sure they were only like $7 each. And a great deal. I think now you could probably buy them at Ulta and Target. At the time, you could only buy them from their website. And I've never gotten anything from Milani before, so I was very excited to try them out. And recently, as I mentioned earlier, my brows have been very sparse, and so I tried this out as soon as I got it in the mail, and I was blown away with how good my brows looked. So I wanted to show you guys how I did them and just kind of review this as well and explain like how to do your brows. Maybe if you guys are in a similar position to me, maybe it's not because of trichotillomania, maybe you just have lack of brow hair for other reasons. There's so many reasons why people are lacking brow hair. So I just wanted to do a quick tutorial today with these products, just showing you guys how to use them and kind of like a review and tutorial at the same time. So I hope you guys are excited and let's jump into the video. So these are their Weekend Brow Eyebrow Tint. It comes in 3 different shades. I bought 2 of the 3. The third one was like the lightest shade. I just feel like it wouldn't show up on me. My hair is pretty dark. I do get it dyed. But even like naturally it's pretty dark and I would normally use just like the darkest shade, but I figured I would try the medium shade as well just to show you guys. And I thought like, oh, I could use this since they're so inexpensive. I was like, I could use this as shading and just use the medium one first and then the darker one. But I've used the darker one just by itself and it's looked amazing. So if you guys like just want to get one of them, you don't need to have both of them is what I'm trying to say. Actually, I think what I'll do is I will show you guys one side with both and then the other side with just the darkest one, just to show you guys what that looks like. So what I love about this is mainly the tip, because it is a brush tip, so it's not like a felt tip. I feel like some brow tint stuff is more like a felt tip. And I feel like it's really consistent as well when it comes to the product that comes out. One of my complaints, I love the Brow Blade from Urban Decay. One of my complaints though, is that it's not very consistent with the amount of product that comes through. And sometimes it's like a lot of tint, sometimes it's not. And I've seen a lot of you guys complain about that as well on my previous videos, that you'll purchase it and then sometimes it's great and then sometimes there's like barely any product. So with this though, as far as I've seen so far, it's been really consistent. This is also brand new, so we'll see. But I'm gonna take the lighter shade. This is the 120 soft brown color. And if you don't have eyebrows or you've never really looked much at eyebrows before, typically the way brow hairs grow, I don't know if you guys can really see this right now or not, but your brow hairs in the front part will grow upwards and then they'll start to grow out to the side, and then in the back they'll kind of grow out to the side and down. And there's also some hairs up here too that'll kind of grow out to the side, down a little bit. So typically your brows will go upside down in the way that they grow. And when you're drawing on your brows, you also want to replicate that as well. So when I'm drawing on the little hair flicks, I will be flicking them in the direction that my brow hairs would naturally grow. I kind of like to start in the middle of my brow because sometimes I need a couple practice runs before I do the front part. But typically when you do your brows, you want to fill them in lighter in the front and then darker towards the back. That looks the most natural. As I'm just gonna start at the base and flick upwards. And I tend to go a little bit lighter at first, and then if I feel like it needs to be darker, I'll press down more. But with this, you definitely wanna go lighter and then make it darker or press down more. But you want to do a really light hand and just kind of flick upwards like that. But it's not really showing up because of this color on me. I've had a lot of success with the other one, but this one is more of like not showing up as much. So I'm not sure how that would work on you guys if you do have lighter brow hairs than I do. I'm kind of holding this not almost like more flat like that, so not straight on. I feel like to really fully get the shape of this, so the fact that it comes to like a tapered point, you kind of have to hold it at an angle. So I'm just kind of flicking up like that, then to the side, and then outwards, like that. You guys want to play around with how it feels in your hand. I feel like I have more control when I hold it almost like flat to my face. Switching over now and using the darker shade, this is in the number 140 Espresso. This one especially is very dark, so if you are using this for the first time, please go very light with it. Light both in the way you're holding it and pressing it down, and also very sparingly. So natural brows, they're not just like fully filled in, there are little gaps, so I try to leave little gaps. I'll show you what I mean by that, but I won't fill in every single little like spot with this. I'll kind of just create some more, and that's how you kind of create depth, is by leaving space, because naturally your brows, they're not all gonna be the same fullness all the way through, and I feel like that helps make it look really natural. So starting off with this, and also in the middle again as like practice flicks, I'm going to start at the bottom and just flick upwards, going very gently, because if I push down hard on this, it does get pretty dark. And then I'm going to just lightly go in with this. But we're creating dimension in a couple different ways, both in how hard we press down, and also how full we make it and how many like strokes we make. So I'm kind of just starting. Now I've kind of gone upwards. Now I'm going to take a couple to the side or down, because you do have some brow hairs that grow down that way. Creating the tail. I actually really enjoy doing my brows, so I have a really hard time like stopping myself before I go too far. But the look I'm going for right now is more of like a messy brow. So this definitely doesn't look super clean. If I want to do more of a clean brow, or like less natural looking, I would probably go down with a pencil or a powder first before going in with this. So that's as far as I would go if I was going for more of like a natural everyday look. I'm not wearing any makeup right now, so if I were to go out the house, I would probably do my brows like this. This is definitely more very natural, unkempt. It looks like the brow hairs are kind of like, sorry, word, tussled, but they're not like in place or anything. So again, if I were to do more of like a structured brow, what I would do is first go in with like a powder and fully fill in the shape and make it look perfect. And then I go in with this product just to kind of add the brow hair. So you can use this product all by itself, but it's probably easier if you do go in with something else first, like a powder or a brow pencil, just to really fill in your brows. But I'm gonna show you guys on the other side, just using this one, so you can see that you don't need to have both of them. But because I did, it added a really nice base, and you can see the difference it makes just in the two brows. Like, yes, there is something there, like there is some sort of an outline, but you can see my brows look so much better once I have them. So going in with this on the other side, same technique, where basically I'm going to go in very lightly, very sparsely at first, and then I'm going to go in with some darker strokes towards the end. Again, you want to go in very light-handed in the beginning, because it's easier just to build it up rather than go in heavy-handed right from the get-go. It's harder to tame it down that way. So I always have a hard time on this side, just holding my hand the right way. But starting again in the middle, like I feel like I normally wouldn't use this just by itself. Like if I was doing my makeup, I would probably put down like a powder first. And if you do a stroke that's a little too dark, what I'll do is I'll just kind of press down to kind of take out some of the pigment. And I'm also just trying to stay within that shape that I already have. That's a good thing about having my brows microbladed, is I can still see the shape of my brows pretty easily, easier than I would have if I didn't have them microbladed. And then honestly, I just keep filling them in. It's really one of those things that you kind of have to just figure out for yourself. I don't want to fully fill them in. I want to have some gaps, but I also I want to add some like depth in places and make it a little bit darker. I feel like that looks pretty even, and looking at both of them, you wouldn't necessarily be even able to tell that I used two products on this side and only one on this side. But I feel like when I was applying it, it was a lot easier using two on this side and having like a base and then applying the hairs. I feel like I had to be a lot more strategic on this side, both in just where I put the hairs, and it did take a little bit longer, because basically you're trying to recreate your brows, and you think about how many brow hairs you probably have on your eyebrows. It's hundreds. So it does take some time, unless you do have something that you're filling in with a base. So if you're using a brow powder or a brow pencil, I feel like that's easier to start as like a base step and then go in with this, but you can totally use it by itself. And I just feel like it looks so natural. Like I feel like this looks like I have eyebrows. I know it's kind of weird looking at me now because I was so used to like looking at myself before without brows. That looks kind of strange, but I feel like this does look really normal and really natural, and I can totally see myself doing this during the summertime. And I don't know, it definitely gives me more confidence just to be able to see my brows and have them look natural. Like I feel like if you didn't know that I didn't have brow hairs and you just saw me as like a stranger walking down the street, you would have no idea that I didn't have eyebrows. But yeah, let me know what you guys think about the eyebrow tint. Is this something that you would use? Do you have sparse brows? Have you been looking for products to use? If you do have sparse brows, what kind of products do you like to use? Do you prefer to use a pencil or powder? I feel like my techniques are always changing up, but I'm just really excited about this product and I'm really excited with how this turned out. I feel like it looks really natural, and yeah, it definitely makes me feel more confident looking in the mirror, looking at myself with my brows looking much more natural than they normally do. So thank you guys so much for watching this video, and I will see you in my next one. Bye!